Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Boo from Mile High Distilling. In honor of Mexican Independence Day, we're down here at Balmer Peak Distillery, and we're gonna be doing a watermelon and chamoy brandy, I guess we'll call it. For those that don't know what chamoy is, it's basically just a spicy sauce, sort of. And anyone who does know what it is, know that fruits like mango and watermelon, things like that, they go hand in hand like peanut butter and jelly. So we're excited for this run. Now this run's gonna be pretty interesting because we have two vastly different ingredients here. And so we'll talk a little bit more about our process to overcome that as we go along. I wanna go ahead and get our fermentation in our main boiler as well as a little bit of something in our thumper. We're gonna run this through a thumper. So prepare yourself, guys. We'll be right back. So one thing regarding the fermentation, we only have watermelon in this fermentation. And there was two main reasons for that. Number one, because we have vastly different ingredients here, that watermelon is pretty subtle. That chamoy is definitely less subtle. So we were a little bit worried about our quantities in our fermentation. So we chose to post-infuse our chamoy into our watermelon. So this is purely watermelon. Regarding what the recipe we use and everything, I'd really recommend look in this corner of this video, click that card right there. At the end of the video, you'll also see the card. It's a link to our shorts, our YouTube shorts, and that's gonna have our full recipe that we did for this fermentation. We didn't really wanna make a whole video out of it. There wasn't really enough there. It'd be like a minute or two long video. Might as well just make it a short. So definitely watch that, finish this video, and at the end, you can click very easily onto that short or just go in that corner.
And right around this time, someone who was supposed to be watching the camera pressed a button, and the whole rest of the video's in slow-mo. So, since we don't have the opportunity to get back to Balmer Peak Distillery by the time Mexican Independence Day has, we're going to finish the video with just a little bit of talking through everything that's going on. Right here, I was talking about the consistency of this fermentation. So watermelon is an incredibly fibrous fruit, and it's mostly water. And I believe that when adding the yeast onto it, it breaks down the cell walls in a very interesting way. It almost completely breaks everything down. What's left in the fermentation is a gushy, soupy mess that doesn't really seem to go down very well through our finely filtered funnel screen. So adding the entire bucket worth into the still took about 30 minutes or so. To help that time shorten, as well as help our final product, we opted to take some of the mush stuck in the funnel after the liquids had drained out, and we put it directly into the thumper for extra watermelon flavor. After finally getting the mash in the boiler and getting our temperature on, we began the run. The initial 4 shots were intensely sweet, almost like just an unfiltered watermelon sugar, but with a nasty bite that you have to really expect with anything with acetone, like 4 shots have in them. So this was actually the second time we tried this recipe. We did the first run as a test. We wanted to see just how much watermelon flavor we could actually get over, while also playing with the amount of chamoy needed to not overbear on any other flavors. Our first watermelon run had almost like a mulchy, wet grass type smell in the distillate, at least from what I tasted, and it was just really off-putting. But the only thing I could chalk that up to was the biology of the watermelon, and perhaps when the yeast is breaking down its cellular structure, it's creating flavors very similar to like the rind of the watermelon itself. We didn't use any rind bits at all in our fermentation, but this is just my best guess. This run was already looking up. What was coming over smelled like watermelon with hints of that flavor coming through in the taste already, even in the 4 shots. So our initial proof came out at 130. That's a tiny bit low for a thumper. Our theory on that is, once again, due to the fermentation. The watermelon is mainly water in its composition, and we believe when broken down by the yeast, it increased our amount of water in the fermentation, which then in turn dilutes our spirit as it begins to distill. Now, alcohol and water do have vastly different boiling points, so that might not be a correct theory. It's really just our best guess. With our 4 shots and our second jar of heads almost collected, it was about time to start charging our thumper and our infusion basket with more watermelon flavor. We do this after the heads, so the flavor from the watermelon doesn't get wasted and absorbed through our heads, which is the one part of the run we don't really want to keep. We wait until our hearts start coming out, which is indicative of the loss of nail polish remover smell that's present in the heads, and then we fill our chamber with fresh ingredients. In addition to the puree of the watermelon leaves that we put in the thumper at the start of the video, it also received a gallon of watermelon juice and 2 pints of chamoy. I'd recommend sticking with these ratios to get the flavor of both ingredients over somewhat evenly. The sight glass received a pound or so of watermelon in the chamber, which we periodically refreshed throughout the run when the sight glass level went down or we started losing flavor. We were also pretty surprised by just how much these watermelon cubes basically just melted in the sight glass chamber as the steam passed through them. We noticed within probably the hour that the sight glass volume had gone down to around 50%. We had more than enough watermelon to go around. We kind of just kept on refilling that chamber every hour or so. Initially, we had some worry about the goop from the melted watermelon. It would go down back in the boiler, and we'd be worried it would hit our heating element and basically burn it out. We chose to stick it out, and I'm happy to say we had no issues there. I would love to mention how grateful I am. We actually did a test recipe of this batch before proceeding with the video. I think just having those ratios a little under our belt really had this shine turn out really good from the very beginning, rather than just kind of flying blind for a jar or two until we figure things out. That sweet, refreshing smell of the watermelon permeated in the summer air as our run continued, and as our jar collected more, the taste test officially began. We had a great blend of tangy, salty, and slightly spicy from the chamoy that made the perfect companion to the crisp, juicy sweetness that the watermelon adds. So I think my favorite part about this combination was the way it hit us in layers. It had more tang and spice from the chamoy right up front in your mouth, but then it switches to the watermelon near the back end of things, almost like a chaser for that. So it's a nice little bite at first, then smooths down as we get away from the chamoy flavors, and it gives you the whole picture all in one sip. So I really enjoyed it. Anyways, it looks like that same someone who messed with the camera realized his mistake near the end, and we're back to audio. So please enjoy the rest of the video.
So we're sitting here about 100 proof so far. We've collected a few jars. I just want to show you this amazing color. Hopefully that camera picks that up somewhere. But you've got this nice, this is watermelon juice, fresh watermelon juice with a little bit of chamoy directly in this jar. It's got this amazing pink, red, ruby, maybe we call that, type red. And then over here we have our pink, which is just fresh grapefruit. So we've got a few. These are all diluted down to 40%, 80 proof, and they are doing really awesome. I think this is really more of a sipper drink, something you bring down to a pretty low proof and really try to enjoy it. So I'm thinking that it might be a good idea to test out at a lower percentage. I think we try maybe 20% on our next jar and see just how that carries over. But these 40s are phenomenal. So really it's just curiosity that's getting me there. I wanted to take the opportunity here to thank you guys so very much for watching. And I'm gonna take a fresh shot right from the tap. If you guys can get your shot glasses ready, because it's cheers time, guys. Before we take this shot, I want to take the opportunity to thank you guys so incredibly much so for watching. We really appreciate all your support. I love the comments, so please leave some down below. Let us know what you think about this run. Please let me know any feedback, anything you really want to comment, even if it's just, what's up, dude? I'll respond back and say, what's up? In the description, you're gonna find all our social media. You're gonna find our TikToks, our Instagram. Those have some great content, so please be sure to subscribe to those. And of course, please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you've enjoyed your video this far, please be sure to give us a thumbs up, like this video. That looks really good with YouTube on us, and that helps us as well as produce some better content as well. So anyways, that's my plug for the day. This is a perfect end of summer shot, so please grab a brandy or something that's good for the summertime and take this with me. Cheers. Man, yeah. Boom. We have pretty much finished the run. We're gonna continue to collect one more jar worth, but this is about it for us. With that, guys, as we collect our last jar, we will bid you guys farewell. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was a really fun, nice end of summer type recipe. I'm really glad we did it, and we're looking forward to continuing along with it maybe next summer and improving upon it. We're pretty happy with how everything turned out, even considering our relatively low yield. So I hope you guys give this a shot yourselves. And if you have any questions, please leave them down below in the comments, as well as feedback is valuable and we would appreciate it as well. So with that, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next video.